Hello everybody, here's Christian Lamitschka for Country Music News International from Nashville, Tennessee. Today on the show we present you
Aaron Pax Taylor.
Eric's, how did you find your way to country music?
Probably in early 20s. So Chris, who's my drummer and one of my longtime friends, in California, we grew up listening to rock and old, soft country and old rap even. And we just started going to places like Denim and Diamonds, which is one of the local, it's no longer there, but it's the old country bars. We used to go there and hang out, learn the dances, and after a while I was like, hey, I'm gonna sing a song. This guy Garth Brooks just came out. So I was like, hey, I kinda like this song, and then I wasn't very good. Still not very good, but it doesn't matter. So we would go to like karaoke places and we would sing like the only one country song we knew. I was like, wow, this is kind of fun. People clap for me. And then from there it was, hey, I kind of like doing this. So 20 some odd years ago, that's what started.
So, can you remember your first gig?
Oh, it was terrible, yeah. It was in Fallbrook, California, and I had no musicians. A friend of mine helped me get the gig, and I called two guys that I found on the Recycler Classifieds. This is before the internet. So the Recycler Classifieds was the hard paper, newspaper type. You'd pay $1 and it would get it for your particular area of your city. So I called a guitar player because I needed a guitar player. He says, oh man, I have a bass player too. I said, great, I need a bass player. This is fantastic. So I gave them all my songs on a CD, and we show up for the gig and they say, oh, we only know about 10 of your songs. So I was like, okay, guys, we're gonna play those same 10 songs. So my first gig, I wanna say was in like 1996, 97, and it was terrible. I wanted to quit driving home. I thought, man, this isn't for me. And then my drummer at the time said, hey, I have another band that'll come in, because I had shows booked the next weekend. I'm surprised I didn't get fired from the bar, but fortunately there were like 5 people there. So the next week, a band showed up, and they said, look, if you only know 5 songs, that's all you're singing, we'll do the rest. So from that point on, that was kind of my education for the last 20 years about playing shows and gigs.
You described yourself, I heard, about Redneck. So, so is there a special as a Redneck on stage?
We're just ourselves. I mean, we don't really compare ourselves. We don't try and go out and be something we're not. It's just, sometimes we're silly on stage, sometimes we're serious, and we've learned over the years that if you're having fun, they'll have fun. Even if you're screwing around or you're joking and you're getting them involved. For me, it's about connecting with the people in the audience. That's the single most important thing that I could do as an entertainer and as an artist, is to get people connected in what we're doing. I could be the greatest singer and just stand up there and sing, and they'll say, wow, he's really good, but okay, so we were chatting about this and that. They won't pay attention to you very long. But if you get them engaged in your show, sometimes it's us walking around being silly. Sometimes it's us, walking over to somebody and they're crying, and we'll find out why they're crying, and we'll do a little tribute for them. And it doesn't matter. It's really just kind of reading the room. And Redneck is more of like a term of endearment of us just being ourselves. We do what we do, and we're serious about it, but we don't take ourselves too serious, because it should be fun. Making music is fun. The business side is a whole nother deal. I'm still learning as much about the backside of the music. It's not just singing songs and writing music. There's a whole nother aspect of music that's not fun. So when we're on stage, that's kind of where us being us and us being rednecks and just enjoying ourselves and getting the people involved. And sometimes we'll make fun of ourselves if we're screwing up songs or lyrics, and that's part of the fun. It's part of the show, and people laugh along with us rather than laugh at us. Though I'm sure they do that too. Yeah.
Well, as bigger you are, as bigger is your team you have around you.
For sure. And you're only as good at, so the two things, on stage you're only as good as the band that's behind you, and off of the stage you're only as good as the team that's helping you, that has your best interest in mind, whether or not it's helping you with contracts, whether it's helping you with marketing, or just making decisions on what songs you should be singing, how you should do it, how you should dress, how you should talk, how you should interact with people, how you do interviews, how you play your music, how you should sit. I mean, those kinds of things are really important for somebody like me. Though I've been doing this a long time, people don't know my name. People in California do, and there are some people here. But if I go to middle of Iowa, they don't know who I am. So I need to present myself like I'm, really taking my game to the next level. And that is really a big part of what the team is that we have.
Do you think it is a good way to be trained for the interviews, or do you think it will be nice to talk how you want to talk?
I think both. I mean, I'm pretty candid about my life in general, but you still have to carry yourself with a tactful professionalism when you're sitting down. I mean, I don't want to sit here with my legs spread and just hanging out. I mean, you still have to carry yourself in a certain way, and I think I want to be as open and transparent as possible when I'm doing interviews, but still that just comes with doing it a lot and being comfortable. I mean, some people would just sit here and not really know how to react. And for me, it's important because then, we'll record interviews and we'll look back on them and I'll say, man, I can't believe I was slouching like that or doing like that. I should really do that. And my wife would probably say, sometimes, if I'm touching my face, she's like, you can't be touching your face all the time, or saying, a lot. So those are people that you need to have around you that you can trust, that will tell you things like, hey, you didn't sing that very well, or you got to stop touching your face. If a stranger came up, I'd be like, okay, thanks, I don't know who you are. But if somebody that you trust to give you feedback is on your team, then that's really important, being able to trust that.
I heard you're at the moment in the studio for a new album.
Yeah, so we recorded here in Nashville, and we started recording some tracks, and we're going to finish some tracks in Los Angeles, and we'll probably be back here. Hopefully we'll get a chance to work with people like Jeff Huskins. He's doing a lot of hit music right now, and we went and sat in the studio with him. It's over there in downtown on Music Row, so we're really excited about that. And really it's just a matter of me writing more songs and updating the ones I have, or finding really good songs in town. Nashville is really a songwriter town. I mean, there's a lot of artists like me here trying to make it, but really it's a writer's town, and it has been forever. Most of the great songs come from the handful of people that really understand the art form and the craft of songwriting. And you just need to find out songs that are a good fit for me as an artist and as a person.
Did you ever play it outside of the US?
No, we went to Europe last year with my family, and man, I was really wanting to play some music out there. But I know over in Europe, even in Asia, they love music. They love American music, they love country music, pop, rock, even rap probably. When I was in China, I was taller than most of the people there, so they thought I was famous, and they had no idea who I was. I was a tall, blonde-haired guy from America, so people wanted pictures and they wanted autographs, and for all they know, I could have been a baseball or football player. They didn't know I was a singer until they asked me. So, I understand that it's very popular over there. In fact, we're getting ready to do a distribution deal with some people in town who is really focusing on Europe. So I think Chris and I and the band will probably head to Europe and play music.
That would be nice. Keep me up to date when you're starting your career then in Europe. By the way, what's the biggest compliment a fan ever gave to you and the band?
The biggest compliment is a reaction more so than words. Like yesterday, Chris and I, we were walking over the pedestrian bridge. We just wanted to shoot our own promo video, just saying, hey, we just want to appreciate everybody that's following us on this journey. We sang just a quick portion of one of our songs. And as we were walking down the pedestrian bridge, there were a group of just Nashville people walking up, and they're like, you're not done yet. We're like, oh, what do you want to hear? So I had my guitar and I played them a song. And we got to chatting, and I started to play one of my original songs, and one of the girls was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to cry. Because she said that song was exactly her life. I'd never met her before, but my words touched her in a way that she felt like that song was written about her. So to me, that's the biggest compliment I could receive.
So what do you think, or what do you hope where you will be in the next 5 years?
On the Grand Ole Opry stage.
Okay.
That's one of my goals, obviously. We obviously want to have music on mainstream radio. I mean, we're getting, some love right now with radio. We've got a handful of stations that are playing it. We're super excited about that. We want to thank you guys for playing the song. But I think just enjoying what we're doing, and if it'll pay our bills. Success to me doesn't need, millions of dollars. And I think if you're good at what you do and you work hard, those things will all take care of themselves. If you're doing it for the wrong reason, I think you're already losing the battle. So for us, I think success is just doing what we're doing. I mean, we've been touring the United States playing our music for people who've never heard it before. So if people send us emails and find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and say, hey, we had a great time, then that's success to me. In my eyes, that to me is us being successful, and we're reaching out to people. And
did you ever thought about it to open your own record label?
No, it just takes so much money, and I just don't know. Earlier when we were talking about that aspect of music, singing on stage is easy for me. The music side is so complicated. There's so many different options out there, and A lot of people are signing really bad deals. Some people are signing really good deals. It's just a matter of what you're willing to give up. So as a record label, that's too much for me to take on as an artist. I don't know enough about it, and I would probably be a terrible record label head.
So you want to be more than on a major label, then you say you stay by on your own steps.
I don't know. That's the catch-22, because I want the success that I believe I can achieve because we're working very hard, and in some ways having a major deal is the only way to get to that level. But there are a lot of independent artists like Aaron Watson in Texas, and a lot of Texas artists that are making a great living and they have great names, and they're an independent label. So I think being an independent is fine. I'm proud of being an independent. I'm proud of working hard, and if we can find success without having to give up most of what we're working hard to do, I would be happy with that. But in some ways, I think it's very hard to achieve that without getting the support, the financing, the tour, tour support. For somebody like me, to hop on a tour bus is a couple $1,000s a day just for the bus and the driver. So you can't do that without a lot of money. And I think if we had, a significant backer or an investor or something, that would be a different story. But now we're just working like, thousands of people in town here trying to get noticed. And, fortunately, we've had a lot of people notice what we're doing. So I think we're on our way on a good track.
But most year on tour, how it is to make a family life?
It's tough. My wife, she works for the VA back home, and I talk to her 4 or 5 times a day, but she's very supportive. So is my family, and so is Chris's family and all of our band. They know we're doing something very special here, so they're supportive, but it is hard. I mean, we both, Chris and I both have kids, and we like to spend more time with them than we do, but everybody understands that we're doing some really good stuff, and we're doing what we love to do. And you can't underestimate that enough, that doing what you love to do makes us happy, and I feel in a lot of ways that makes me a better, happier husband, happier father, because I do have that support, and I acknowledge the fact that they're really on board with what we're doing. And it's a sacrifice to ask your family to come along with this ride.
How old are the children?
My daughter is 11 and Chris's is 10. So they're both, right at that age where they kind of understand. They just want to know, are you famous or not? Their kids at school are like, hey, Daddy, we saw you on the internet. Does that mean I'm famous too? So we're having to deal with that aspect of, no, honey, you're not famous. Daddy's not famous. You got to go to school and get good grades. So it's important for us to make sure we stay connected even though we're on the road. Chris and I have driven about 5,000 miles in the last month. We're going to radio stations and bars and clubs, and we're just literally pulling out our guitar for anybody that wants to hear music, and it's just a real grassroots thing, as Chris says. We're literally just doing it one city at a time, one bar at a time, one person at a time, one radio station at a time.
By the way, the children are old enough to integrate them to the band.
Oh yeah, I love my daughter, but if you heard her play some music, she's probably not quite ready. You know what? She loves Daddy, but she's not a huge fan of my kind of music.
Oh, okay.
She's really into still Disney stuff, and she wants to hear, some of the popular kind of teeny bopper stuff that's going on Disney channels and Nickelodeons and things like that.
Well, Taylor started somewhere else.
Somebody's got to do it. And there are a lot of artists. We just saw an artist locally who's just a teenager, and it kind of reminded me of that. Really good, and I think there's a definite market for that. I mean, the young kids need people to look up to, boys and girls.
Yeah. So, by the way, where can fans keep up to date with you?
They can find me on Aaron Pax Taylor, P-A-X. My middle name is Patrick. We kind of shorted it for Pax because it's pretty different, unique, and there's a long story behind that about where it came up as a funny joke. They can find me on Instagram, they can find me on Twitter, they can find me on YouTube, they can find me on Facebook, or on my website, and everything is at Aaron Pax Taylor.
So, folks, you know what to do if you want to keep up to date with the band and him. Or you follow us here on Country Music News International. Sign up for our daily newsletter where we keep up to date with you. Yeah, that's it. Here from Nashville, Tennessee. I'm Christian Lamitschka, and hope to see you soon. Have a great day.